Hi guys, it's Luca and I'm here with Arlen.
Hi guys, hi Luca's followers.
So this is a super spontaneous video. I'm in Boston right now because Arlen lives here, so I'm just visiting and we're driving back to my hotel. And we're in Cambridge. We were thinking about filming near Harvard, but it's so cold outside and...
You could kind of show them Harvard a little bit.
Yeah, I'll show.
Like we're on the Charles River and that's Harvard dorms and stuff.
That I got myself into. I can help my own.
We both are super into the law of attraction, and Arlen does a lot of like self-development and like vlogs on his channel, so if you guys want to go check that out, then I'll link his channel down below. But we just want to really dial in
for the new year.
Yeah, and just talk about like super casual drive with me, how we think about manifesting, because you guys are always asking me to do videos about manifesting, and this is so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Harvard's very aesthetic.
Harvard is aesthetic. If y'all don't know, ew, I said y'all, okay. If you guys don't know what law of attraction is, then I would recommend that you go watch my first law of attraction video, because I really got down and dirty and explain like the pretty necessary things that you should know.
It's a really good video.
Thank you.
And fun fact, that's how I found Luca, because I saw that video like a year ago and I was like, this chick knows cool things.
Okay, so when manifesting things for the new year, I think it's really important that you utilize writing, because writing makes a huge imprint on your subconscious mind, which we talked so much about over on Arlen's video. But
we didn't really talk about like daily practices.
Okay.
You know, we kind of just
day I'll do the I am grateful for blank, and I'll write that down in my law of attraction notebook. And I think it's so key, like if you want to get into manifesting, definitely get a notebook that is specifically for law of attraction and track your progress, because you knowing that, like whether it's a simple thing, like whether you wanted to manifest a cup of coffee or like seeing a penny on the floor, like those are the things that you need to like prove to yourself before you get into manifesting the bigger things, because it's kind of like this concept that wasn't taught to us, you know, in school.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot. I've never talked about that on my channel, but I definitely agree. Like, because once you see that it does work, you have a lot more confidence. I probably would have had more faith if I had done what you're saying to do, which is like pick something small and then just see how it works.
Yeah, because I think when we first learn about it, we automatically want to be like, I'm gonna manifest this, and then we're like, oh shoot, it's been a while, why isn't this in my life yet? This law of attraction thing doesn't work. But if it's just something that you really don't care about getting, like seeing a penny on the floor, you can visualize yourself picking up a penny like 50 times without even having to put that much effort into it.
We were doing it earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, you just like picture a parking spot or picture yourself in a parking spot, or you just like kind of get into the feeling that you're grateful that there's a parking spot. And we're in Boston, which if you guys know anything about Boston, the parking is terrible. And we ended up finding a parking spot, which seems super simple, and obviously it is. But it's funny, like we were like struggling to find one for a while, and then we were like, oh, why don't we just manifest it?
Yeah, see, our mindset since we've been manifesting for a while is that like we know that everything is possible, and that all you have to do is like tap into that feeling of already having it, and then it's automatically going to become a magnet to you. So the more you do it, the more practice and the more faith you build. It's really important to build faith, and that's why, circling back to journaling what you have already manifested, I don't care if it's like the smallest thing, still write it down, because
right. So I guess if this is like for people who are newer to it, definitely pick some larger goals, but for the first couple months of the new year, just try it out with like smaller things, just so you can have that evidence or proof for yourself that it does actually attract. First manifesting story that pops into my mind is just my YouTube channel in general, and what I would do. So I started my channel like 3 years ago, and I had 11 subscribers for whatever reason. I don't even know why they were there, but I hadn't been making videos or anything, but I had 11 subscribers. I actually wrote down, I don't really talk about this too much, but like I wrote down that I am so happy and grateful that I have 10 million subscribers. And my thought process behind that was not that I was actually gonna get 10 million, but that I would be kind of thinking along the same frequency as a YouTuber that has 10, thank you for that word, that has 10 million subscribers. So
tapping into that.
Yeah, I tapped into that vibration, and as a result, like, my actions that I was putting forth were in that frequency. Manifested, like, within a year, I was like pretty much a full-on YouTuber.
Yeah, we have very unconventional jobs, and to an extent, like, you really manifesting, like, for me with my YouTube channel, one example I can think of it is as I had so much resistance with every video that I was posting, and I was so torn up about how many views was this gonna get. I was so caught up in that. It doesn't mean that much to me anymore, because I know, like, the true worth and value comes within, like, the content,
process.
the process and the like the value I'm giving other people, you know?
Yeah.
But I had to get myself out of that lack mentality that I needed the video that I was going to post to blow up in order for my channel to grow. And as soon as I dropped that, like, anxiety that it was giving me, a good example I can think of, if you're applying, like, colleges and you're so tied up around, like, the outcome of it, sometimes you need to put in the action but also have faith. Some things, like, you just can't control. Like with my channel, like, you literally can't control whether a video is gonna blow up.
Right. Yeah, and I think right now is even a perfect example of it. It's like, we're talking right now, I don't think either of us, like, you can just feel it, neither of us are attached to the idea that this needs to get a certain amount of views. Like, we are just simply sharing from our experiences, and we don't really, neither of us are like, how do we
what are we
keep
gonna say
them
next?
entertained? How we're, yeah, like,
Make a joke, Arlen.
we haven't planned anything, we're just allowing it to happen.
Yeah, flow.
And it happens.
When, I don't know, I heard this on a podcast where it's like, flow is the input balanced with the challenge of what you're doing. So for example, like, I wouldn't be in a flow state if I wasn't challenging myself. Like, you need a little bit of challenge in your life to get in that, like, flow state where, like, your vibes are super hot. And I feel like some people may, like, get into the trap of believing that, like, they're not good enough to receive what they want, so they may, like, motivation might go down a little.
I relate to that a ton. Some of the best videos I've made, I've just put myself under, like, tremendous pressure, which I'm not saying is 100% necessary, but, like, applying that to myself. Like, for example, when I was doing a 100-day challenge where I was uploading 100 videos in 100 days, I, like, ended up, like, sleep depriving myself, which I don't recommend. But as a result of, like, editing all night long, I ended up making videos and hitting flow states so consistently. They were made from that flow frequency.
I think the opposite of flow is when I am bored, when I'm focused on time a lot. I don't have enough time to get this done, or if I'm just too wrapped up in, like, things that I can't control. I feel like flow is just releasing. In the Tao Te Ching, there was a book written by Lao Tzu. Have you heard
And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's something
related. And Wayne Dyer wrote a book called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Mind, and he analyzes that book. It is literally, like, my guide to life. Like, I listened to it over the summer and I was in such a flow state, and the Tao it translates to flow.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great books on flow. I always tell people, if there's one book that every human should be required to read, I would say it's The Power of Now.
Totally, it's definitely
just
a spiritual necessary. Like, depends on, like, the mindset you have reading it though. Because I've gotten some people that have told me, like, Luca, like, I just don't get what it is about this book. And it's a little bit, I guess, if you don't really soak in what it's trying to communicate to, like, living in the moment, like a lot of people say it, but it's really, like, decoding.
For people that maybe have tried it and haven't got it, then Audible would be a great option. Listening to Eckhart Tolle is different than reading it if you're not super spiritually inclined, because his voice is,
it's like
just
father, like,
very,
and then he laughs.
Nice.
He laughs to himself. Do you know that?
The digital objects that are taking our attention. Somebody just posted something on Facebook.
He's so funny too.
It must be important.
Sometimes I
need to go comment. Oh, cool. They're probably like, what are you guys talking about?
That's what I'm thinking. An avid subscriber, and I
To Eckhart?
Yeah. So like, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have like accidentally come across
This little man.
this little man who's so funny and just.
Well, I would say if you aren't looking to read copious amounts of information and are looking to kind of just zip into flow naturally, then like I said before, and like Luca kind of said, by challenging yourself to, you know, complete some sort of objective that maybe previously you didn't think was humanly possible. So you set an intention, like I am going to do, so for me it was make 100 videos in 100 days, which at the start I was like, there's no way I can keep up with that. It's almost like the universe meets you halfway to make it possible. And it gives you, like, that's why challenge works, because it gives you that extra energy you need, which is the flow state. Do you want to talk about like the...
I'm so vibing right now. This is beautiful.
It's so beautiful here. This is the Boston Common, Newberry, like all the shopping
I love
stuff.
parks. They're my favorite.
Well, we initially said we wanted to talk about the nature of reality, which is like...
It's like really deep.
Yeah, so...
I'll add, you freaking just take off.
Okay. So most people think of reality as like three-dimensional. That's like, there's the different axes that you have, axes, which is like it's a time dimension. So you think, okay, right now is now, and then there's the past, and then there's the future. And if I would like to manifest something, let's say a relationship or a certain amount of money, then in the three-dimensional plane, you think that it's going to take time to get there. But once you start getting into manifestation and law of attraction and all these different things, you sort of leave the time dimension behind, the three dimensions, and you zip into the fourth dimension, or the quantum realm, which sounds super...
physics, if you guys are interested.
It sounds super complicated, but it's actually even more simpler than time, in my opinion, because time is simply a construct that humans made to make life more convenient.
Okay, wait, I need to say something. Okay, so one time I was in class, I was like talking to my friend, and I literally like just seriously said, well, it doesn't matter because time's not real.
Yeah.
He thought I was joking, and I was just like time's not real.
It's not. It's not. And first thing that helped me understand quantum was actually, I was sitting in class. I went to BU. I didn't go to Harvard or anything, but I went to BU, and it was actually a religion class, and they were talking about Buddhism and how the Buddhists started getting into quantum physics. It just clicked with me, like everything is made of particles. If you think about it that way, the air that we're breathing is particles. My cells that make up my skin are made of particles. Luca's hair cells are made of particles.
Yeah, everything is matter.
Everything is matter. Everything is just little vibrating particles, which is why people talk about frequency and vibration.
Yeah, we're vibrating right now.
Everything you see, even you watching right now, are made of these little particles that are vibrating at a certain thing.
New merch, Luca's merch, we're vibrating.
We're literally vibrating. Yeah.
This is super vibrations.
Yeah. And
vibes.
so like when you understand it that way, you just see how
life is a puzzle and it all connects.
Yeah, like everything is the same. Like it might look like we're separate, but we're just not.
Like
all this is just the same.
Me and Arlen are just like this.
We are the same. If you understand it that way, then you also understand that your thoughts, so everything you're thinking, is particles. Why?
Thought forms.
Thought forms. Because thought forms are simply electrical impulses in your brain that fire off neurons. And if you actually focus on them, then you're actually creating real reality. Thoughts aren't just this they aren't just this like thing. They're like a real thing.
They're not elusive.
They're not elusive, they're real. So when you think about things, that's why manifestation works, because you're actually creating reality in your own brain. The way particles work is that like attracts like. So particles of the same formation attract like particles. And like what you focus on gets bigger. That's because the nature of particles. Particles attract like particles. And
okay. Oh, we're at my hotel.
Yeah, do you have something to add to my rant?
No, I just needed to ask you if you could take a photo of me. Like when you're around someone, what are you thinking when you're with them? Are they making you feel like, are they lowering your vibration? Are they making you feel bad? Or are they adding to your growth? Or like when you're doing something.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to know like whether you're on the right path or not. Like when you're at your job, do you feel super inspired, or do you feel like I would literally want to do anything else but this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing if you do realize that too.
No, it's good.
Because we're all in the right spot.
We're evolving.
Yeah. Even worse, like let's say you're not just in a job you don't like maybe you're severely depressed, or like you have a really terrible home situation. Maybe you're struggling to make friends. Just know that whatever situation you find yourself in is teaching you something. There's always a lesson to be learned, especially the negative ones. And I absolutely relate to that from this previous year.
Yeah,
I had like, I won't get like super specific, but I had like pretty toxic relationship, and in the moment it was like very difficult. But over the course of it and like looking back, I learned so much about myself and about other people that is like invaluable.
Like doors need to close for other ones to open.
Yeah.
And so I feel like life has a way of taking people out of your life or showing you experiences that you don't want so that you'll know what you do want. And then as soon as you realize, all right, that's what's happening, like in my Trusting My Universe video, I realized like you're gonna have contrast, but if you get in front of the contrast and if you like see it for what it is and know that everyone does experience really tough times. I know like you definitely have gone through some difficult things. I have, Arlen has, like we all have, but
we've hit a very wide range of topics in this video. Pretty flowy.
Pretty flow.
I hope you got what you needed and you're ready for 2020.
So I end like the way every white girl ends the vlog. Yeah, so
No, we can't do that.
we should end it off with a quote. This quote, when everything is uncertain, or when any
Go on.
when
You can do it. You got it.
Okay, I don't know the exact quote, but it's basically like when everything in your life is uncertain, anything is possible.
I like that.
Let that sink in for a little bit. Maybe,
Yeah, uncertainty
maybe make
is
it your
good.
wallpaper. Maybe write it down a few times.
Is that your wallpaper?
No, my wallpaper is the Buddha quote. My mom said, "Are you still shopping?" I'm like, Karen, I haven't even
The
gone
root
that
of all
far. I
suffering.
haven't even showered today. The root of all suffering is attachment.
The quote that occurred to me to share is, for 2020, be where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
Was that just like, did you just make it up?
No, I love that quote.
All right, so we're gonna end this in a meditation though. Just
I was thinking the same thing.
Really?
We just end it
thought
in like
forms.
yeah.
We should tell what happened last night with the meditation. Arlen was like,
So I had a day. Listen, let me explain myself. I don't usually do this. I don't want them to think I'm a freako. But I had a day because my dad gave me a book for Christmas. It was like Gandhi's Essential Teachings. And on the back, he was like, I meditate 5.5 hours a day. So I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. And I'm gonna try to go for 3 hours today. And I listened to a bunch of guided meditations.
I was just like randomly, I was like, so I'm doing like third eye meditations right now. And he was like, I don't think Arlen really knew like where I was going with that. So he was like, all right, like let's do a meditation right now. And I like kind of wasn't like expecting it. Like usually like.
Well, I wasn't expecting you to bring up third eye meditation. Like you acted like I was the weird one, but we were literally sitting there and you were like, third eye meditations?
Well,
Like,
okay,
are you
I
the
feel like
pineal
you did-
gland? Opening the pineal gland? I was like,
Okay,
not really,
I
but
speak
do you
what's on
wanna...
my mind, sir. Okay, so yeah, I just was like, it came into my mind, so I was like, I better voice this out.
Okay.
No, like I liked how he meditated, but Arlen mentioned how he like meditated for like 3 hours yesterday, and I was like, oh, like that's dope. Like I haven't really meditated for that long. And then he was like, want to do a meditation? Let's go. And I was like, okay. So I was like,
Not much of a context. I was like, Alexa, play yoga nidri meditation.
No context.
And then it was like, all of a sudden, real quick, it was like lying your back in a comfortable...
You sprinted down to the floor, and I was like, like kind of like trying to like listen to the meditation, but I was also like, so it's just like 3 hours.
But it wasn't. It was like 10 minutes. In the middle of it, I realized too, I was like, I hope she doesn't think this is a 3-hour like guided meditation.
I was like, I kind of have to go pee right now. And then I see Arlen on the floor and he's like, and then like whenever I meditate, I feel like my eyes go back into my head, so it feels like, it looks like I'm being like possessed. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, anyway, that was just a funny like, you know, friends who meditate, a tee.
Okay.
Alright, thank you guys so much.
I thought we were going for 3 hours.
Oh. Alright guys, so I want you to just follow what I say. It's gonna be pretty short, so if you don't have time, then just skip to the outro. I need my watch time, thanks. But you wanna take in a deep breath, and at the top, hold it for 3, and then exhale for 5. So ready? 1, 2, 3, exhale. Alright, Alright, so do that 3 more times and you'll be relaxed. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
I got so much back, I think I'm never running out, yeah. Bust me down a wood, bitch, I don't do this for no clout, hey. I got so much back, I think